Hey, what's going on? So I just got back from watching Supergirl, the latest entry in the DCU. I've been a big fan of this franchise so far. I loved the Superman film last year, and I really enjoyed Creature Commandos and Peacemaker Season 2 also. I will say, walking into this movie, I was a little trepid because of the negative reviews, but I would say I walked out, for the most part, having a fun enough time. Millie Alcock is born to play Supergirl. She's absolutely great in this role, and I cannot wait to see more of her in this universe. I love the scenes with her on Krypton, just seeing the destruction of the planet, seeing the way, just having to follow in her cousin's footsteps. Superman, of course, like all of that was just really well done. The flashback scenes were great. I think the moments with her and Crypto, they do a really good job, and just the opening scene really cementing the bond between these two. And so obviously when Crypto gets hurt, which you see in the trailers, it feels earned and motivated. I do think Lobo, Jason Momoa, obviously having the time of his life playing this role, just as great as we hoped he would be. He's hamming it up, chewing up every scene that he's in, and while I kind of wish he served the actual plot of the story a little bit more, what we got is still really fun. And I will say too, this is one of the most faithful comic book to movie adaptations that we've gotten. This is very faithful in terms of the plot. Yes, they add some things like Lobo, take away some plot lines, add some plot line, or add some aspects of the story that weren't in the comic, but it is a pretty faithful adaptation. Like, if you've read the comic, you're going to notice a lot of storylines, even a lot of dialogue that's in that comic in this movie, which I thought was really cool. And Ruthie is a very fun character. She complements Supergirl very nicely. I didn't find her to be annoying, which they could have very easily done with a character like her. And lastly, while I don't think the action is anything to write home about necessarily, I think what we do get is decent enough. But there is a scene in the third act of this movie where Supergirl goes full beast mode, very reminiscent of Corn Sweat going full beast mode with Crypto, taking out the bad guys and Superman. We get a scene very similar to that, and it's so cool. I absolutely loved every second of that. So that was a big standout for me there. In terms of what doesn't work for this movie, like a lot of people have said, Krim is a very underused villain. Like, yes, he has moments where he's somewhat intimidating, but overall, I would honestly compare him to like Malekith from Thor the Dark World. Like, very one-dimensional and flat. Also, I feel like there's after like the first hour, this movie's really strong actually, but I feel like after that, there's about a 10 to 15 minute segment that kind of dragged for me a little bit, and it took a while for it to really reinvest me and get me back in. But overall, I would say outside of that, I mean, some shoddy CGI moments are probably the worst that I can think of. This movie is not as bad as the critics made it out to be. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10, and I'd recommend fans check it out either in theaters or eventually on HBO Max.